Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges, and then we'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is, your bail or bond. Probable cause, by the way, merely means that it's more likely than not that a crime has been committed and that you're the person that committed the crime. However, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. Like I said, we'll set your pretrial release conditions, that's your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've got a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. And if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there are 2 assistant state attorneys in the courtroom with me today. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear affirm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth. Outstanding. When I call your name, please step forward to the podium. James Marciano. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
8/23/96.
Charge this morning is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
This is Mr. Marciano's first arrest in Florida. However, it doesn't seem he's been here long because he's got some history from Pennsylvania over the last 3 years. In 2015, there was a drug charge. In 2016, an assault, a disorderly conduct, a criminal mischief, harassment. Some of those were pled out. Also, in 2016, we have a fleeing to elude police officer, reckless endangerment, which was dropped, resisting arrest, which was a conviction, and I believe that he's on probation as per his rap sheet. I think the probation was transferred here, so he's on probation out of Florida.
Okay.
If Florida's the arrest, he's on probation now, according to his rap sheet.
Okay. And did Mrs. Carlson wish to address the court, or is she just here?
Ms. Carlson is here. She's the victim in the case. The defendant's mother is also here. They are aware of the provisions of no contact and of the possibility of the VOP coming down. I also explained to them about the 4 o'clock hold for the injunction. I don't believe she's going to go get an injunction based on my conversation. She also has an intake date set with the state of 5/14. I'm going to bring her up to the state attorney's office with me and try and get her in for an earlier date to decide how we're going to resolve this.
Very good. All right. And Mr. Marciano, I have an address for you on Matico Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About a month, but I've been doing everything I need to be doing. You know, I got a job already.
Okay. What do you do for work?
Excuse me?
What do you do for work?
Oh, I work for Sprint.
Okay. And are you currently on probation?
Oh, yes, I am, sir.
Okay. Where'd the probation come from?
Came from Pennsylvania.
Okay. So you're down here on Interstate Compact?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I will tell you what, that obviously is a concern to me because my guess is it's a cinch that Pennsylvania's going to want you back, but that may take a few days. With that in mind, I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you'll have no contact with Ms. Carlson. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. You don't go where she lives. You don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might
Yes,
imagine
sir.
contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until these charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way.
Yes, sir.
You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That will not ultimately be a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and tell them that she wants the charges dropped, that she doesn't want to pursue this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped, and you should not have contact. In addition, you'll be held at the jail today up until 4 p.m. so she can decide whether or not she'd like to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence. Were you to get that civil injunction, it would be doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. The last piece of advice I will give you is that it's a cinch, I think, that when Pennsylvania finds out about this, they're going to want to violate your probation. They want to come and get you. That warrant will have a warrant of no bond. If you spend money bonding out on this case, you're likely going to lose that money when that warrant from Pennsylvania comes down. If you do bond out, you are required to notify the folks in Pennsylvania and the folks that are supervising you here right away that you picked up a new criminal charge so that they know that that's happened.
Yes, sir.
I will have you back in court on the 16th of May. If you bond out, you should contact the PD right away as well. If you do not bond out, they will come see you at the jail and give you a more fuller understanding of what's happening for you in the near future, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck. And Frank Stokowski. Want to start with your date of birth?
8/13/73.
All right, Frank, I've got 7 charges this morning. 2 counts of assault on a law enforcement officer, 2 counts of depriving an officer of means of protection or communication, 1 count of resist with violence, 1 count of possessing new legend drug without a prescription, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. Do you plan on hiring private counsel? Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Mr. Stokowski's history is a petty theft from 1995 and a burglary dwelling that was dropped within about 6 months ago. And that's it.
Okay. Frank, I have an address for you on Fairhaven Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
5 years?
Do you have a job these days?
No.
All right. I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule on these charges, which is $2,000 each on the first 4 counts, $5,000 on the resisting, and $1,000 on the 2 misdemeanors. That should be 8, 13, 14, a total of $15,000. All of them will be back on the 21st of May. If you're able to bond out, you should go see the public defender right away. If you cannot bond out, they'll come see you at the jail, all right?
All right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, what date was that, Your Honor?
5/21. Katrina Day.
Thank you, so maybe excuse
Thank you. Absolutely. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Morning, Miss Day. What's your date of birth?
8/10/81.
Katrina, I've got 2 charges today: possession of marijuana and resisting without violence. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Your Honor, I'm showing a failure to appear out of Pasco in December of 2017. Marijuana charge 2017 out of Tampa, no disposition. Probation violation out of Hernando County 2013. A giving false information to law enforcement out of Hernando 2012, no disposition. Probation violation out of Hernando 2012. Adjudicated guilty burglary of a structure in 2012. Adjudication withheld possession of controlled substance in 2012. Those are also out of Hernando, and a petty theft out of Hernando in 2011, no disposition.
All right. Katrina, where have you been staying lately?
Cortez Boulevard. Mickey
Do you know the address?
7247 Cortez Boulevard.
Do you have a job these days?
No.
Okay. We'll leave the bond per the schedule, which is $1,000 each count. The total is $2,000. You'll be back in court on the 16th of May. If you get out, Katrina, very important that you contact the PD's office. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. Shauna Fernandez, incoming. Sorry.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Ms. Fernandez. What's your date of birth?
7/20/81.
Ms. Fernandez, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently, you failed to appear in her court on a charge of petty theft. Was there an offer?
There is a probation offer, Your Honor.
What's
It's
that?
an adjudication, 12 months probation with early termination upon completion of a shoplifter's course, 50 hours community service, to have no contact with the victim being Walmart, fines, court costs, cost of prosecution, and 0 restitution.
All right. So, Shauna, if you wanted to resolve this case today, you could plead no contest this morning to that charge. If you did, I would adjudicate you guilty and put you on probation for 12 months. While you're on probation, you take the shoplifter's alternative course, do 50 hours of community service, or buy it off at $10 an hour. Pay a fine and court costs of $620, and while you're on probation, you would not go back to Walmart. As soon as you got all of those things done, the probation would end, so there's no need for you to spend 12 months on probation. Just get busy and get those things done, and the probation would be over. If you'd like to accept that this morning, you certainly can. If you'd rather have me set a bond and give you a chance to talk to a lawyer, you sure can do that.
No, sorry, I'd like to take that.
Judge, they would make an alternate offer of 30 days.
Okay. Shauna, your other offer is 30 days in the county jail. You want to take the probation or do 30 days?
I'll take the probation.
Okay. You understand by entering a plea in this case, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you. But you're willing to give up those rights so we can resolve your case today?
Yep.
Case number 17MM3803, that's the charge of petty theft. How do you wish to plead? You can plead in no contest.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll accept the plea, find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge, put you on probation for 12 months. While you're on probation, you'll complete the shoplifter's alternative course. You'll do 50 hours of community service or buy it off at $10 an hour. Pay a fine and court cost of $620, and you'll not go into Walmart while you're on probation. As soon as all those conditions are complete, Shauna, the probation is terminated. We'll have you report to the folks at County Probation no later than 4 p.m. on Tuesday, May 1st, 2018. So make sure you get yourself to probation. It's on Jefferson Street, just a block or so away from the courthouse before 4 o'clock on Tuesday, and they'll get you started on your probation. If there's nothing else holding you in the jail this morning, you will be released today, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good luck. Don Hilly. Morning again, Don. Date of birth?
7/24/69.
All right. So, Don, they did find that warrant for you. Signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 4 charges. Sale of controlled substance, possession of a structure for the purpose of the sale of controlled substance, unlawful use of two-way communication device, and possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'll go defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Your Honor, I believe she was here this
She was
for battery.
no PC yesterday on that battery.
No PC on that, okay. And then there's probation violation on Hernando 2015, probation violation on Hernando earlier in 2015, adjudicated guilty in 2014 for petty theft out of Hernando, adjudicated guilty in 2014 burglary of a structure out of Hernando, a petty theft second degree, or out of Hernando 2013, no disposition, guilty disposition 2005, unarmed burglary out of Hernando, adjudication withheld 1998, possession of cannabis out of Hernando, adjudicated guilty for retail or farm theft out of Hernando in 1998.
Okay. And, Dawn, I have an address for you on Orlando Avenue in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
Since February.
Okay. You have a job these days?
No, sir.
Okay. We're going to leave the bonds per Judge Scaglione's warrant, which is $2,000 on the 3 felonies and $500 on the misdemeanor for a total of $6,500. We'll have you back in court on the 21st of May. If you get out, Dawn, make sure you contact the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Tipper Nair. Did I give you my list? No, here it is. Sorry. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
11/03/92.
All right, Tipper, I have 3 issues for you. The first is a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found, actually 3 warrants where he found probable cause for violations of probation. I have another warrant, also signed by Judge Toner. We found probable cause for 1 count of fraudulent use of a credit card. And a final warrant, also signed by Judge Toner, where apparently he failed to appear in his court on 1 count of fraudulent use of personal ID and 1 count of organized fraud. So there's probable cause for all those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
Okay. So obviously the bonds on the VOPs are all no bond. I can't change those. I'll send you back to see Judge Toner on those on the 21st of May, and the public defender will come see you prior to that. On the warrant for the fraudulent use of a credit card, I will leave the bond per Judge Toner's warrant, which is $4,000. Obviously, you can't bond out because of the VOPs, but we'll send this also back on the 21st of May. And then finally, on the FTA warrant, I will not change those bonds either. Those are $4,000 and $10,000 respectively. Again, you cannot bond out because of the VOPs. All of your cases coming back May 21st. Public defender will be out to see you prior to that date, okay? Thank you. Don Palumbo. Morning, Don. What's your date of birth?
9/28/68.
All right. I got 2 issues. Don, the first one is a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione for possession of controlled. So apparently you failed to appear in front of him on a charge of possession of controlled substance. We have a new charge now of resisting without violence. There's probable cause for that. As to these charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Defender, please.
I'm sorry?
Public defender,
Okay, I'll
please.
point
She
you
already
to-
has on the older case, she already
Yeah.
has our office.
Okay, and there's a court date on the FTA already?
On the FTA, it was a drug court date.
Yeah, well, Judge
So
Scaglione's warrant says send back to drug court.
Yes, she has a follow-up of 5/9 that was already set with Toner.
So she needs to go to drug court
and she
before
needs to go to
5/9.
drug court on 5/3.
Okay. And that warrant, I think, is no bond anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. All right. Then on Judge Scaglione's warrant, I'm going to leave the bond per the warrant, which is no bond. I will change the date. I'll point at the public defender, and we'll have you back on that one. You'll be in drug court on the 3rd of May. Let's see.
Okay.
PD's obviously going to come see you before you go back to court on the 3rd. And then on the new charge, the resisting, I'll leave the bond per the schedule, which is $1,000. Appoint the public defender. That case is going to come back on the 16th of May. It may be that after you see Judge Scaglione, they'll want to resolve that case. They can get that case in front of me very quickly if that's what need be. But you won't be back on that one any later than the 16th of May, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Courtney Gilman. Morning, Courtney. What's your date of birth?
96.
All right. Charges, battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint a public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
Your Honor, she's currently on PTI in 2017 MM2819, charge of petty theft.
So I assume there's no history other than that.
There is not, Your Honor.
All right. And Courtney, I have an address for you on Bridgewater Club Loop in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yep.
How long have you lived there?
And, Hitzemann.
Okay. Does Mr. Hicks live there as well?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I am on disability.
Okay. Courtney, I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Mr. Hicks. Were you listening earlier when I explained what no contact means?
Mm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did you understand what no contact means?
No idea.
Okay. So you'll have no contact with Mr. Hicks. I'll also hold you at the jail up until 4 p.m. so that if you wanted to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where to find you. You're going to be back in court on the 16th of May, Courtney. If you bond out and Mr. Hicks is still living at that address on Bridgewater Club Loop, you'll have to stay someplace else until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to stay. But to do that, you would have to call the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with a deputy who would come and who would stand by while you got your things and got going where you're going. Like I said, May 16th, if you get out, make sure you call the public defender's office right away, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Jennifer Prestia. Morning, Jennifer. What's your date of birth?
7/13/87.
Jennifer, first count is a felony retail theft. There's probable cause for that charge, and then it looks like you're currently on misdemeanor probation. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have a probable cause arrest for a misdemeanor VOP. There's probable cause for both charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Appoint a public defender.
And Judge, on the VOP case, there was a scrivener's error. It's actually 18 mm 1180.
Right. They got it on here. Okay. So what we'll do on the VOP, as Mr. Bauer just noted, is 18 mm 1180. Bond on the VOP is going to be no bond. Looks like Judge Rupi put you on probation. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So on the VOP, I will have you back in court.
Now,
Yes.
I have a question because I do work.
Oh, you're not getting out of jail if that's where you're headed. That's not happening. Judge Rupi for those are me. 5'9".
Or 5'11".
Is it?
You want to do 5'11"?
5'11". Okay. All right. So on the VOP, they told you the 16th. I'm going to move that to the 11th of May. So that'll be back in court on the 11th. On the new charge, I'll leave the bond per the schedule, which is $2,000. That case is coming back on the 21st of May. The public defender is going to come see you at the jail about both your cases before your court dates,
Can you
okay?
track both of them to the same date?
Felony.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry, do you have a question, Jennifer?
What do you mean both court date? Like,
Because the new charge is a felony, so that's going to circuit court. The old charge, the VOP, is a misdemeanor, so that's staying in misdemeanor court. So you have two dates, May 11th and May 21st. The PD is going to come out and see you and help you understand everything that's going on, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Matthew Buckland. Morning, Matthew. What's your date of birth?
1/2/75.
Matthew, you're here on a charge of domestic battery by strangulation. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'm going to try to hire private counsel, but if I cannot because of financial reasons or whatnot,
You can
Who do I
always you
contact?
can always come to the courthouse and stop by the PD's office, fill out the application form if that's what happens. All right.
Okay.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
This is all I'm seeing in his history, Your Honor.
All right. And Matthew, I have an address for you on Abington Way in Weekiwachi. Is that where you live?
Correct.
How long have you been there?
3 years this summer, sir. I've been in Hernando County since 2000.
Okay. And does Amanda live there as well?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work in the school system.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Amanda. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also, we'll hold you till 4 p.m., so if she wants to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where to find you. You'll be back in court on the 21st of May. As far as that Abington Way address goes, if she stays there, you'll have to stay someplace else while this charge is pending. You may go by one time, but you've got to contact the sheriff's office before you go, all right?
Yes, sir. I have a question
Go
before
ahead.
we're done. We have a 6-year-old daughter together. I'd like to see her.
The answer to that, Matthew, is this. I've just told you not to have any contact and not to have contact through third parties. I can't imagine how you're going to arrange visitation with a child without violating my no contact order. If it was possible, then you certainly could do that. But if you contact someone else, your mother-in-law, your mother, and say, contact Amanda so I can have visitation, then you have violated my no contact order, and if I find out about it, I will absolutely revoke your bond and hold you without bond. So the short answer is, the smart money is you just are not going to see anybody until we get this case resolved or until contact is restored, all right?
Could I get the court date moved up then, sir? Or no?
No. 21st of May. Very good.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Abraham Butler.
One second, Your Honor.
Yep. Good morning, Mr. Butler. What's your date of birth?
10/26/66.
All right, Mr. Butler, I have a warrant for you out of the great state of Georgia. So your options are this morning. You are entitled, before we have Georgia come get you, to an extradition hearing if that's what you wish. The purpose of an extradition hearing would be to determine if Georgia's warrant is valid and if you are the correct Abraham Butler who is wanted by that warrant. While you're waiting for that extradition hearing, you'll stay right there in the Hernando County Jail. That process can take somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 days before we can arrange for and hold that hearing. You may also this morning waive your right to that hearing. If you waive your right to that hearing this morning, Georgia would be notified immediately and told that they have 15 days to come and get you. If you're still here in 15 days, then they would bring you back to see me, and I would find out if Georgia's actually coming or if they decided they don't want you or what the story is. So your choice this morning is, would you like an extradition hearing or would you like to put Georgia on the clock right now?
Put him on the clock.
There you go. Sign that form. Very good, Abraham. Georgia has 15 days. If you're still here in 15 days, they'll bring you back to see me, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Ronald Cadle.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
3/1973.
Ronald, I got a warrant for you out of Pinellas County. The judge that signed it apparently believes you failed to appear and then set your bond at $5,000. I can't change the bond on an out-of-county warrant. If you can post that bond, you can go down to St. Pete yourself and find out when they want you in court. If you can't post it, I will give them 5 days to come get you. If you're still here in 5 days, I would have them bring you back to see me to find out what the holdup is. So you're on your way. Thank you, Ron.
All right, can I ask you one question, sir?
Sure.
Is that the only thing holding me? Is that one bond?
That's all I got. Yep.
Okay, so if I post that, I'll be good to go because I got an EOS date here on the 1st.
If you have to be bonded out on everything, the only thing I have this morning is that Pinellas warrant. So yep.
Well, no, I'm saying I got an EOS date here. I'm already sentenced here in your county. That's what I was wondering. If I post that bond, am I straight to be released on my EOS date?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. James Francios.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, James. What's your date of birth?
12/23/89.
All right, James, I got a warrant for you signed by Judge Toner. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on felony driving on a suspended license, possession of marijuana, and then we have a new charge of resisting without. There's probable cause for all of these. As to these charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Your Honor, he has an open case, and he also has a guilty disposition 2017, driving while license suspended HTO out of Hernando, failure to appear, attaching a tag out of Hernando 2016, failure to appear out of Hernando 2015, guilty disposition, possession of a controlled substance 2015, trespass of structure, guilty disposition, felony petty theft, guilty disposition 2015, Hernando. An action was dropped for petty theft in 2014 out of Hernando. An action was dropped for a fraudulent use of personal identification in 2014. Guilty disposition, possession of a controlled substance 2014. Guilty disposition, trespass of a structure. Guilty disposition, paraphernalia. Guilty disposition, petty theft, third or subsequent out of Hernando. Guilty disposition 2013, felony petty theft out of Hernando 2013, guilty disposition trespass, felony petty theft out of Hernando, multiple failure to appear out of Pasco and Hernando in 2013, failure to appear 2012, guilty disposition 2012, possession of cannabis, battery on a law enforcement officer, and possession of paraphernalia.
That's good. Thanks. That's good. Jim, I got an address for you on Plaza Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I'm a painter.
Okay. On Judge Toner's warrant, I can't change those bonds, and those are $10,000 and $2,000 respectively. Those will be back on the 21st of May. On the resisting charge, I'll leave the bond for the schedule, which is $1,000. That'll be back on the 16th of May. So your total all the way around is $13,000. You got two court dates, the 21st and the 16th. If you bond out, you should contact the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail before your court dates, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Carlos Lopez Carrasco. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
3/28/92.
And Carlos, the charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. State.
Your Honor, the history that I'm showing is for a Lopez-Morla. It appears to be a female, so I do not have any history.
Okay. All right. We've got a bad driving record.
And I don't have a copy of it.
Just a lot of unpaid fines. Okay. Carlos, give me an address. Last address I have for you is Strickland Trail in Dade City. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
Almost 6 years, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm farm worker.
A what?
Farm worker.
Oh, okay. All right. Carlos, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. They're going to let you out today. You must be back in court on the 16th of May. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Marquis Stewart. Morning, Mr. Stewart. What's your date of birth?
June 22nd, 94.
All right. Stewart, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Neal. He found probable cause for one count of retail grand theft As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Appoint a public defender, sir.
Appoint the PD. State what can you tell me?
The failure to appear from March of this year out of Sumter County. Looks like an action was dropped in February for possession of cannabis, and a failure to appear out of Hillsborough County. There's a grand theft charge out of Hillsborough County from December of 2017, no disposition. A guilty disposition, 2018 possession of cannabis out of Sumter. Actually, those dates are pretty similar to the failure to appear, so it must be that case. Guilty disposition 2016, driving while license suspended. Out of Tampa, also guilty disposition to elude out of Tampa in 2016. Guilty disposition driving while license suspended 2015. Guilty disposition resisting in 2015. Guilty disposition fleeing to elude 2016. Those are out of Tampa or Hillsborough. Driving while license suspended and grand theft out of Hillsborough 2015. No disposition. An action was filed in 2015 for resisting. No disposition. An action was dropped for cannabis in 2015. Those are also out of Hillsborough.
Okay, that's good. All right, and Mr. Stewart, I got an address for you. Looks like North York Court in Tampa. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
8 years.
You have a job these days?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm going to leave the bond for the warrant, which is the $2,000. I'll have you back in court on the 21st of May. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Gamalier Pine? Morning, what's your date of birth?
11/15/88.
All right. Charge this morning is felony driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
I have a private counsel.
Very good. State what you tell me.
Appears to be attaching a tag out of Pasco 2007, no disposition. Failure to appear out of Hillsborough 2009. Adjudication withheld, worthless check, multiple counts, and a probation violation. Not sure which at Pasco. A DUI, no disposition, 2012 at Pasco. A violation of probation on Hernando in 2013. Actually, violation of conditional release, 2013 on Hernando. And appears to be a single source of offender.
All right. And I have an address for you on Mead Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yep.
How long have you been there?
Almost 3 years.
You have a job these days?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a manager at Checkers.
Okay. I'm going to leave the bond for the schedule, which is the $2,000. I'll have you back in court on the 21st of May. Make sure you tell your lawyer about that date, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Adam Wilson? Morning, Mr. Wilson. What's your date of birth?
3/20/88.
All right, Mr. Wilson, this is a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for a violation of a domestic violence injunction by having possession of a weapon. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
The driving while license suspended out of Pasco from January of this year, no disposition. Guilty disposition 2012, violation of domestic violence injunction out of Hernando. Adjudication withheld 2012 for resisting without. Adjudication with multiple counts. Also adjudication on a felony battery or domestic battery by strangulation, 2012. Those are out of Hernando. Probation violation out of Hernando, 2011. Driving while license, it's a DUI, traffic offense out of Pasco, 2009. No disposition. A petty theft out of Hernando, 2008. No disposition. Guilty disposition, petty theft, burglary of a conveyance in 2008 out of Hernando.
That's good. Thanks. That's good, John. Adam, I have an address for you on Halsey Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you been there?
15 years.
Do you have a job these days?
I'm in between jobs right now.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. You'll be back in court on the 16th of May. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything else? All right. We're adjourned.